the City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC Podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. This is episode 189 of the Heart of LAFC Podcast. We're going to call this one Seeing Red for so many reasons today. Before I get into the introduction, let me, of course, introduce Christine. How are you doing tonight, Christine?
Man, it's been quite a week. Just the game, the news, the weather. We got a lot to go over for sure. How are you?
A ton. Hanging in there after that defeat. But hey, it's 4th of July weekend, and if you can't find a way to be positive when this kicks around and things are opened back up, like, come on now. Yeah, there's some definitely things to party with, and viewing parties too, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, let's get into the football, then we'll talk about all kinds of other crazy stuff, because I know Fresco is going to be coming on, and Rasta from the Black and Gold Vinyl Club is going to be here. So yeah, we've got some cool guests today, so this is going to be a good one, good and busy one. So here we go. For the first 58 minutes, LAFC appeared to be on their way to victory, taking it to a strong SKC side, second place in the league, and we took the game to them. No doubt about it. It was all about us for the first, honestly, 58 minutes. Sadly, though, what transpired over the final 32 minutes was a very different story, of course, leaving us all seeing red. Not just Tristan Blackman, all of us seeing red on the day. So that's where we're at. You're going to be joining us. We're going to examine this. We're going to look at the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between for that first match. And of course, we're not going to stick with that for too long. We will definitely jump into previews and talk about some community stuff as well to keep things going and keep us on a positive note before we head out for another great weekend. So let's get to it. LAFC versus SKC. There was a lot coming into the match. We honestly were looking at it like, well, we played great against Dallas in that second half. Something's looking right. We're turning the corner. Maybe we can translate something to the SKC match. And I know, Christine, you and I, we were both debating about, are they going to go 4-3-3? Are they going to do this new 5-3-2 system? Mm-hmm. What did they come out with?
They came out with a 5-3-2. Some sites said it was a 3-5-2, but I think they started off as a 5-3-2, and then it kind of naturally shifted into a 3-5-2. So we were right. We called it.
We got it.
Or
we got
mostly
it right.
You called it. Yeah.
Lineup, though, not so much, right? I mean, there was some interesting changes, or non-changes, you could say, because Romero was back in the net for 2 matches in a row. Check him out. Yeah. Not like he didn't earn it, though. I mean, he was good in the match against Dallas. We just were kind of expecting the tandem of Cisniega to come back. Were you a little surprised by that, Christine?
Definitely really surprised. When I saw the whole lineup, my mouth was just like, interesting. I wasn't mad at it, but I was just really surprised.
Yeah. And of course, what was the biggest surprise? Carlos Vela being omitted. And when you were thinking, oh, okay, no Vela, was Moose the first guy you were thinking about that was going to take his spot up there?
Absolutely not.
No. Yeah. I mean, we had Barrett on limited minutes last match, so you figure, well, he's probably earned that role. There's Jennings, who's showing promise, but it was Moose. Moose got the minutes, so they brought Moose into the match, and of course, we're a little bit like, not so sure, but from the very get-go, right, it was all us. And as you mentioned, it started with a 5-3-2, but I think we were dominating so well in transition that it kind of turned into the 3-5-2 simply because we had possession. We were just running it. So they didn't really have an option to go back into playing D because they didn't really need to. They didn't seem to be a threat. I mean, were you a little shocked about SKC's performance from the start of this thing?
I don't think they had a good game. I was surprised by the whole game. I think I was coming into the game kind of expecting us to get a little whooped, to be honest. So, which made the result of the game even more devastating because it's like we saw like a sliver of hope, and all the things that transpired were unexpected in the first half. Did not expect us to have the upper hand in the first half at all. For us to get the momentum. So yeah, I don't think SKC had a good game at all. I think if anything, we really gave them the game. We lost that game to ourselves, which makes, all the conversations about this match rightfully, of a frustrating nature.
Yeah, anger and pain is fully justified from this match. That's no doubt about
Yeah.
that. So first half, though, before we get into the negative stuff, first half, of course, the big start, of course, was Kim Moon-hwan back into the spot
Absolutely.
again, doing what he does best. Honestly, I think they've built the system for him. I'm not going to lie. It looks like that right now.
Yeah.
Explain the goal, because he finally got one.
Yeah, so this goal actually starts with Sifu. Sifu has a failed pass to Rossi, and it kind of comes right back to him. And then he immediately spots Kim, who's making a run down the right flank. He finds him, perfectly weighted ball. Kim cuts it in rather than take the first time shot. He does a couple touches, and then he just, he takes it on his left foot really well to the near post instead of the far post. Beautiful goal. I mean, just encapsulates everything that Kim's about. Just, like, very good technique. Versatile. He can shoot with his left foot. And in a way, I was thinking, like, it was sort of a blessing in disguise that Vela wasn't in from the get-go, because I really think that if Vela was in, there's a good chance that Kim would try to assist Vela instead of taking that goal himself. So, I was at the Tiger Supporters Group watch party. It was my first event with them. And, man, everybody, including myself, just went nuts. Like, we completely lost our minds, and just a pure feeling of euphoria, like, not disbelief, but, like, incredible, just happiness that this was happening for him. We've been sort of waiting for it. You never know. Nothing is guaranteed with, international players that came in. So happy with that, and just generally how he played.
Yeah, I mean, 2 starts and 2 massive performances, really. If you look at the stats, he's got next to no minutes up to these last 2 matches, and now he's just there. And it's like he's been there all season in terms of his form. He's not missing a beat. I think the only thing I could say when it comes to Kim Moon-hwan is the kid needs to shoot more. There was one play before his goal where if you just chosen to be slightly selfish, take the guy. Like, he had him. He had the angle on goal. Like, he totally could have took the player. Instead, he took the conservative approach and pulled back. And I'm like, you had the speed. You had the angle to goal. Like, everything was it's just one touch away. And he has this really tight touch on the dribble. Not many players are that tight with the dribble on the run. He has that, which is special. That's, it's what you see when you go to Europe, right? I mean, the big, watching Euros, you see it plenty, right? Non-MLS. He has that touch, though. He really does. And so when he did that cut, I'm like, oh, man, kid, just take it. You're going to do something. And I think most of it, I mean, you had that feeling like, dude, today's going to be the day. He's going to score. You feel it. You totally feel it. And then I know Rich Orozco, he called it. He goes, he's scoring today. He said it early on. He's scoring today.
Wow.
Okay, Rich. All right, Rich. Dude, he called it. He got it right. Rich, well done, sir. Totally. So Kim does what he does. They play an amazing first half. Everything's looking the way it's supposed to look. Way better than anybody expected. Probably better than our own squad expected to take it to SKC, which is fine, which is perfect, which is good, something to build on. Great. Then comes the second half. It's just so frustrating, because what happens in the 46 minutes that basically changes everything? Most things, I think. Substitutions. Early substitutions in the half. Just after the game kicks off, the substitutions happen. They bring in Kay for Sifu. They bring in Baird for Moose, which is okay. All right. And then Vela for Blessing, even though Vela and Blessing don't even do the same role. So it's kind of what's going on here, right? It doesn't, at this point, you're shifting players. They're trying to play the same system, but now it just doesn't have that same vibe. Not saying that we weren't still the better team in the moment. We were still outplaying SKC. But what made that trouble is that if anything goes wrong, which we know it does, how do you adjust when you've made that kind of a shift? Because now your midfield, honestly, is light. It's light. So, of course, what happens in the 58th minute, Christine?
Are you talking about the red card?
Yeah.
If you have get a straight red when you've already got a yellow, is it like an extra punishment? Like an extra punishment?
Right. You're like, yeah, you're on double secret probation. I'm not even gonna. I don't have time to show you the yellow card. I'm mad at you, so you're gonna get red straight away.
Can you just do a yellow, double yellow, same thing? So Tristan already had a yellow from the first half, which was also from Saloui. Like Saloui is extremely fast. He was kind of dominating that side all game, and I get it. As a defender, you're not going to always be able to. There's going to be a lot of attackers who are going to outrun you, but at least in the first case, I didn't think that first yellow card was necessary on Tristan's part. He had support in the back. He had Maria behind him. We had numbers, and then. Come second half, he does have to do some kind of tactical foul, but if he didn't already have that yellow, if this was his first offense, things might have had a different outcome. I'm not sure that this deserved a straight red, but there needs to be a better communication in terms of our center backs, because Tristan either needs to be positioned better, knowing that, okay, this player's faster than me, or they need to sort of shift players over when Saloui is on that side, because he just completely dusted Blackman, and I don't even really think the red card is the reason why we lost, because oftentimes when we have a lead and we go down 10 men, we can really change our tactics and play a super low block. What I do think really doomed us were the subs, like you were talking about. Yeah. I was really surprised that Mac was starting second half instead of Sifu. I think Sifu was having a really good game. Also really surprised that Blessing came out. Velish, should come in for sure, but I mean, like you said, they're doing two totally different things. Blessing is doing tons of the dirty work for us. He's covering so much ground. And at that point, we went from 83-degree weather to it raining. So we can't expect somebody like Vela to do a lot of the grunt work. Like, we need somebody with a lot of legs, a lot of stamina, who's going to be making those runs back and forth, covering a lot of ground, making sure we have cover. And I was just really unhappy from the get-go with those subs. I don't know if you had a bad feeling about it, but I was 100%. Pretty shocked. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand why. I understand scheduling players and keeping minutes. Mm-hmm. But you're playing the second best team in the league on the road, and you have them on the ropes. If you score one more, this game is done and dusted. It's over. It is over. Absolutely. And you're showing signs that it's going to happen. So why would you take your foot off their neck? You want to stay it that bad? I'll stay it that bad. You have them on the ground. It's one more play, and this thing is over. And you're like, well, let's switch up the midfield. K needs minutes. He doesn't need minutes. He doesn't need minutes. Sifu needs minutes because Sifu's been showing it. Blessings earned those minutes. Tell me he hasn't. He's earned the right to play a 90.
Yes.
In this system, he's been an impact player all the way. He's doing the dirty work. He doesn't have to worry about tracking back as much, and it's paying off. So now you leave everybody basically exposed with 3 quick changes, pretty quick changes. And now you get this red card where now you have to completely shift your team around.
Right.
But you've burned 3 subs that are unnecessary, so you can't quite do what needs to be done. It's a lot. I gotta say, it hurts to see. And then the red card happens. And this is one of those things also that I think the guys are adjusting to a new system. When you're a center back and it's a 3 center back system, guess what? You're going to get isolated a lot. And if they break, you're going to have one-on-one situations that could result in cards. So that becomes those moments where what hurts worse? Letting them get one back on you or destroying your system. It's a bang-bang play. I get that. No doubt.
Yeah.
but you're in that moment, right? And you're in a system where you know that you're going to be isolated because everyone's overlapping. It's just the build. So what happened?
Yeah.
The cheap yellow card is what haunted him. But even though
Mhm.
it was a direct red, which means I guess he gets a bigger fine for that. Whatevs. It's
Uh-huh.
still happened. He still earned
Mhm.
his sending off. He did. But this is the worst part. That wasn't the reason we lost. It was a contributing factor, but it wasn't the fatal blow. The subs, yes, I think a lot of it. By the 68th minute, or sorry, 61st minute, SKC ties it up. And you say, oh, maybe it's the pressure. They have too many men. Christine, on that goal, was it the pressure that cost us that goal?
No. So the first goal, I believe, was a turnover. So the first goal was the Polito goal, and it was a poor clearance from Farfan. And then Mac has
Oh,
another poor clearance right off the
uh-huh.
bat. And then that's sort of like where I saw it originating, because Farfan has a poor clearance, Mac collects it, and then he, instead of going wide, he goes right down the center, mispasses it. There's a turnover, and on the left wing, Vela is like waving his hands in frustration because he's wide open. And at that point, we have a 1-0 lead. We need to be making better clearances in the in our defensive third, and two, if we're going to make those threading through balls, we need to be absolutely sure that we're not causing a turnover in our own half. And so I think that's why Vela was so frustrated, because he's literally wide open on the wing, and there's so much that he could have done if they had just found him down the wing. He could have gone to
Hit it to the
goal.
corner
He could have scored a
flag,
goal.
right?
Yeah, he could have
If you just
wasted time to the corner flag. Yeah.
the one thing you're supposed to do, he just does the complete opposite. You learn as a child, don't bring the ball up the middle. Don't pass it through your half. Don't do all,
Yeah.
what does he do? Unless you're the last guy back there and you're just pinging the ball around, don't do it. You never pass
Yeah.
through traffic. Child's play. And he does it.
Right.
So we have to dig it back out of our net. Kay wasn't the one that blundered. You mentioned Farfan. It came back again to him, and then it bounced off of him, and then that was it. So it was a double mistake, but it started with Kay's decision. And that's a decision because he had control of that ball. So there goes that. So here comes plan B. What happens? 76th minute, SKC brings in two players, two fresh legs. They kind of take it to us now. What's our response? Duke for Rossi. Okay. Fall for Kim, which drove me a little bonkers because Kim had a run right before that substitution where he was threatening on their side on a counter, showing no signs of fatigue in the moment. Did you see him showing any signs of fatigue? He was still doing his thing, right?
Right. And I also think just that amount of subs is really hard to throw out your team, because then they have to readjust and figure out, where everybody's supposed to be positioned. It's just a lot to quickly figure out when you are either like when the goal separation is so little, when they're tied, or when you're only up a goal. So I think it was, I really like Bryce, but I think like in the combination, and I don't know anything about Fall either. Maybe he needs to get some minutes, but it just seems like this was not the right time or game to experiment.
You put a kid in a pressure match where you're down a man.
Yeah.
Which means he's going to be isolated at times. But it wasn't his fault. I got to say, it was not Fall's fault. He didn't do anything to cost us this game. Was he making runs we'd normally expect? No, it was a little more conservative because, dude, it's like his first real competitive match.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get it. You have other guys like Janela just sitting there. Like he could have come in and slowed the game down.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He maintains possession. That's his forte, but nope, doesn't happen. We bring in kids to handle an experienced SKC side. So as the game progresses, 85th minute comes along. Espinoza is replaced by Felipe Hernandez. And you think, okay, we'll be fine. 87th minute comes along. Dun, dun, dun. What happens again, Christine?
This is the Shallowy goal. And he kind of sort of like chips. I don't know if you consider it a chip, but he finds the right corner of the net past Romero. who's been having a pretty good game all in all. He's assisted by Hernandez. And, he's a great attacker. He was threatening all game or most of the game. And so you kind of felt like it was going to happen when we were down 10 men. We didn't have enough cover. He had so much space back there, yards and yards of space. And I believe that play also originated with a failed clearance. It might have been Farfan again.
It was actually a Tuesta. I couldn't believe it when I watched the replay
Tuesta.
over and over. I was like, it couldn't be a Tuesta. I was like, it's got to be Farfan. It's got to be K. You don't want to believe it's a Tuesta. Yeah. Look at his reaction after the goal. It was a Tuesta. He does this like short pass up the top of the box, and there's no one there. Like he's passing to a ghost, and they quickly ping it far post. They bring it across the goal. Well, all of our passing lanes are wide open because the guys are now moving forward into a play.
Right.
There's no way to there's no way to shift because all their body weight's shifted this way for the next play. And it's easy play to the back post, ping it. There's no way they're going to cover because now everyone's back in transition this way. He has all the time in the world to finish, and we just threw away a match that even though we were down a man, we were still managing it under the circumstances. Under the subs, it was still, even though we're outplayed and it was chaos back there, they were still surviving. If they would have not given it away, we probably wouldn't have lost this game. Let's be real about it. They were giveaways. So what are our key takeaways? First, I'd say survival is possible, but all hands must be on deck. Seeing substitutes walk, seeing substitutes making fatigue-related errors throws me. I don't get it. You weren't tired. Why? Off to me. I don't worry about stats in this game. We're not going to cover stats because we all saw what happened. You can't find a stat for turnovers in your own box. One is enough. One is too much. Losing the plot in the face of adversity. Well, I think we could say that for several people, including Bob, right?
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't work. This can't happen again, and it's happened multiple times in pressure games this year. Self-inflicted wounds just keep happening. That doesn't go away. Right. And then on and off the field, basically, the mind's got to be right. Things have got to change. It can't be this way. This is not LAFC football. The giveaways, all this stuff, this can't be our culture because it's becoming one now. One time, maybe 2 times, maybe 3 times. Now that's culture. It's becoming a part of the mantra of this current crop of players, and that's not what I want to see or any of us want to see. So that's where my head's at. Christine, what's your takeaway from all this madness?
I just thought it was such a shame because we had the opportunity to have a very historic game with Kim scoring his first goal for the club. If we had, clinched the victory, it would have been, one for the history books for sure. This is also, like you said, a really good team we're playing against. They have a fantastic atmosphere. We're playing in front of their crowd, in front of their fans. Their stadium's packed, and they haven't lost a home game in a really long time. If we were able to break that record with all of these factors stacked against us, it would have been, a real boost for us, and it would also been a boost for, our fans as well. And like you said, we keep saying that, this is a bad start to the season, but at this point we're getting into the middle of the season. So we really have to examine what does it mean when we can't maintain our leads, when we can't seal the deal. And Alicia Rodriguez had a good article on Angels on Parade where she pointed out that we've dropped 12 points in matches where we originally had the lead. And, that's if we had maintained our lead in even half of those games, we would be in a different place than we are now. But 12 points in games where we were winning, and then we either ended up drawing or we lost the game. So, I was mostly disappointed because, of course I wanted this to be a Kim win, for the team. But it didn't happen. And I guess the last thing I'll say is I saw a comment from an LAFC fan on one of the forums that said something effective. You can tell that the other players don't have faith in Mac when he comes in, or somehow their morale goes down. And I wonder if that's how much validity there is to that, because I do think that a dynamic does change. And as a team, we need to have faith in the rest of our teammates. And if that's true in any way, it's a big problem for us. And we need to find a way to build team chemistry, to have more confidence in each other. And Mac also needs to find a way to have way more confidence in himself, because they think the mental game is really taking a toll on him and some other players as well.
Well, I mean, I would say I don't think they're losing confidence in him. He's been a leader for us since pretty much the time he came in. I don't think that's going to be it. And if it is players doubting each other, that's when you blow up locker rooms. I mean, that's chaos time at that point. They're not going to be turning on each other. The culture of the team, not anything I've seen within it from what I've witnessed. It's not. I don't get that vibe. I think more the letdown is the timing of the subs and players who think they've earned it not getting that shot that they should get. That turns people off. If you've done the right job and you're walking off the field in the middle of a battle, that wears on you. It has to wear on you. What's the incentive for Sifu to keep getting stuck in if you're just going to pull him out in the moment when you might actually do another bit of magic?
Exactly.
This, in his head, he should probably be at the Copa America right now, if that's the case, if you're not that invested in him. Really. That would be my bigger concern, is the heads come down because, well, what do I have to do to maintain my spot here? I'm doing everything I can.
Right.
What more do you need? So that tune-out can happen. That's, I think, the biggest issue I have. With Mac, it's tough because when he goes to Canada, he honestly plays a different role for Canada. Not the same. And he's producing there. So you're kind of wondering, well, how does he not get situated in a similar way here? Why don't you play him to his strengths? And it's odd to me. Maybe he's not in the right role. And honestly, with this in the 4-3-3, he was okay. This new overlapping system, again, he hasn't been around for most of the training related to this thing. Yeah. He debuted when he wasn't 100% available, so it's kind of an odd situation for him. But he's definitely not in the form that he was last year. I mean, he is down in form right now. There's no question about that. So that's the manager's job to make the hard decisions. I can't help but feel like this is like another Ricardo Clark situation. Yeah, I said it. With the national team, with Rico Clark getting starts all the time when nobody knew why, when Bob was with the national team. And everybody's like, that guy hasn't earned it. And then he cost us a goal in the World Cup. So we know. We've had these moments where certain players kind of get a pass, others don't, and it can create some chaos. So here we go again. Any last thoughts, Christine, before I throw this to our supporters? They've got a lot of comments for this one.
Nothing. I mean, I'm happy for that for Kim. I was super happy to be part of the TSG watch party. And I guess when we do the RSL preview, I am expecting us to come on really differently than we did.
Anger football. Yeah, for sure. I feel it. So a couple comments. Hooligan Ox says, yo to everybody. As you guys know, Hooligan was at the game. He got to witness this in person. My condolences, sir. And he ran into Rich. I saw the selfie. Good stuff. Rasta. Yes, Rasta is coming on. You'll hear from him very soon. Very, very soon. You'll see him in a few minutes. It was hard to watch live. I can only imagine the disintegration, right? Second half. Pee-wee was right. It was a 5-3-2. Hey to Roberto. Good stuff. Lunch Special Geo says, Mac is out for a few games. Whoop, whoop. I don't want to celebrate a player not being available. At least he's not going to be available for good reasons, right? He'll be repping his country again in the Gold Cup, which he's been playing so well for Canada. He's like a different player for them. So I hope the form over there helps bring it back over here when he does come back and we get old Mac back. I miss old Mac, right? Edgy Mac. We need that back. Man, Roberto Espinosa says, man, it was one of the most frustrating games I've ever listened to. Seen. This one tore my heart out. I'm not going to lie. This I was so up after the first half just to see it go this way. I agree, man. To the moon from Roberto Espinoza as well. I think I called this one a moonshot. We called the last episode Moonrise. We're on the moon wagon. There's no doubt about that. All the way to the moon. Good stuff. We've got from Pee Wee. That's what I've been saying. When he gets the system down, he'll be dangerous. Agreed. He is when he's getting it right, no doubt. Roberto Espinoza, the way he takes players on, he's so fun to watch. Right, it's the tight dribble, right? That's my thing is, gosh, it's beautiful to see. Right, Christine? Just watching him approach other players. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Hooligan says, I saw the moon goal coming. It was the best thing to see his first ever goal for us in person. Wasn't it, though? I mean,
I'm jealous. Super jealous.
Yes, we are all jealous. We got to see one at home. We got to see one. It's got to happen. Pee Wee, hello, not MLS. Love it. Roberto, to be fair, shooting is a criticism that can be attributed to most of our players. Yeah, we always want to roll the ball into the net. That's for certain.
Yeah.
Hooligan Ox says, man, were those SKC fans annoying behind us? I've been to SKC matches. It can get annoying when they're winning. That's for certain. I think the last time I was there, we suffered a red card as well. Pretty sure it was Benny Philhaber, last game of the season. I think that was opening season.
Oh,
Something
wow.
about red cards in Kansas City. I don't know what that's about. Christine has the take. Agreed, as always.
Thanks,
Pee Wee,
Roberto.
American mentality. Ouch. You're talking about the weak national team mentality? If it's that, yes. Talking about the women's team? No, they're not weak. Certain players are weak. Certain systems are weak. Roberto Espinoza, that midfield was bossing that first half. That midfield was, yeah, I mean, again, our backs never had to come home, right? The three center backs got to hang out and run things. It was beautiful. Roberto says, literally sitting here, feels like it's deja vu, but then I'm realizing we do this all the time. Again, culture. Things are becoming a culture. Brennan's going to get things tossed at him from long distance. He's saying Vela to Australia. No, sir. And I've actually heard that we've got the option. We're fine. We'll keep him for at least another year. You'll have to wait, man. You'll have to wait. Sorry, sir. By the way, the toilet bowl cup is pretty awesome. They just had their championship, and Manchester City Juniors pretty much took it. So for the first time ever, they finally had the payoff. But yeah, that's that. Hooligan Ox says the subs Bob made were not needed. Right. At the time he did it, not only that, but he should have started Vela and sub him out in the second half. Yeah, I mean, I think we all were expecting the Vela show. I was expecting the Vela show, just wasn't that way. And then when he came in, it was kind of not in the moment. Pee Wee says locker room might not be the best right now. New coach, new fresh start, new mentality. My challenge to you, Pee Wee, give me a realistic replacement for Bob Bradley. I know we talk about it and everybody's like, oh, Bob out. Dude, if you do that, I can guarantee you who's going to take his job in the interim. Okay. We all know what's going to happen is Vegas is going to be out of a coach, and that's just what you're going to get for the rest of the year. So I challenge you on that. Is that the better option altogether? Because it's not going to be pretty if you change coaches at this point. It's a lose-lose situation for many of us, but we still hold the best chances under the circumstances. But we do have the right to criticize the moment, and he needs to improve. Hooligan Ox, I think the biggest bummer was how most of the guys reacted after the match, where they chose to ignore us. The one time I'm not trying to get my kiddos to say hi and actually meet the guys, they ignore us. Crushing defeat. But yeah, guys, at home, you still make your presence felt. Always respect the supporters that support you. You have the most active away supporters in the league. Always pay your respects to the 3252 and anyone that makes a trip out there, because again, it's a lot of our money that we spend to get there. We put a lot into those road trips, so definitely show some respect. Moving on again, only ones that did say hi were Blessing, of course, Snega, Farfan, and Mac. Are you surprised by any of them? That always. Mac and Blessing have always been like the most amazing ambassadors to the club. So Hooligan Ox, with Austin's win tonight against Portland, we get bumped down to 10th place. Yeah, we do. Brendan says, be interesting how we go with Mac away in Canada. Yeah, what we did against Dallas. Well, I mean, I think it's obvious, right? And we'll talk about that for the next one. Hooliganics, Mac needs to stay out of social media and stop blocking people. I'm not even going to talk about that. Again, not going to talk about social media. Not with the players, not at this moment. Sifu has earned his time to be playing. We no need to sub him. Exactly. The man needs to start. Brennan M. Does Bob watch our players when they're away on national duties? One would hope. I'm pretty sure they do. Why wouldn't they? Mac should not pay attention to social media as much as it seems. Agreed. Good one, Rasta. It's Ox's fault we lost. There it is, Ox. It's been put on you, sir. You are the reason we lost this game. That's what you do.
Dang, Ox. Are you going to take that from Brendan?
Dude, I think he's going to throw stuff to Australia, too. No, I think he owes Ox Tim Tams. There it is. Now, we got that Moon goal because of me, Bam. I yelled at him. I was like, Moon, you got this, brother. I see that first goal coming. Shut these annoying SKC fans up. He's like Rocky's trainer in the corner. There it is. Minutes later, goal, boom. See? Ox is taking credit for the goal. Nice. They were annoying before we scored. Yeah, we're enough about them supporters, right? Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but I think Romero was fine on the day. He just didn't have a chance. Mm-hmm. There it is. Rastagari says we are still waiting for the reimbursement check from Mike D. We'll get that reimbursement check on our road trip to San Jose since we have 2 of them this year. Can't wait to take those guys over, that's for sure. And with Rastagari being the man, the myth, the legend, giving that final comment, we're going to move on and transition to the next thing. What we're going to talk about now is going to require a little bit of assistance. So let me welcome back, first of all, the man, the myth, the legend, DJ Fresco. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm amazing right now. I'm on cloud 9.
There it is. And of course, he's not entering the game alone. We're really bringing in the reinforcements. So let me introduce the one, the only, Rastagari of the Black and Gold Vinyl Club. Welcome to the show, sir. Your debut for the match.
Rasta, you gonna unmic yourself?
Sorry.
Oh, he got you mic'd up. There it is.
Sorry, I spent a lot of time muting my students the whole year, and now I forgot to mute myself. But yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks. Oh yes, I know you're a teacher too, so that's, you know what it's like.
We're stuck in these rooms and these echoes, and then I decided to record it. What's wrong with me? But there it is. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the show. We're beyond honored to have you. Punk's like, dude, Rasta said he'll come on, and I'm like, yeah.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yes. So. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man, for coming on. We're again beyond happy to have you here, and we're gonna have him actually do the record of the day in a few moments. But we're gonna start off with silly season. Fresco, can you tell us about any rumors kicking off or funny things? You know, I know Brendan mentioned it earlier, but have you heard about player movement or even possible signings?
I've been looking at Twitter, man. It's just nuts. Like during this season, I just stopped watching everything. I think I saw something about Sifu. Sifu's supposed to be. I'm like, what? Like, I'm just, I can't. I'm stressed out enough this season. I refuse to look at anything. I can't. I'm done.
So I'll just say this about Sifu. He stays on his feet way too long to be a player for Club America. Just saying. He doesn't roll around enough to play for them. So, not happening. Rumorville. Could you imagine him in Ochoa? He'd probably kill him in training just for the past, man. I don't.
If we get rid of Sifu, and he go, no.
I mean, do we really want a draft pick next year? Do we really want a high draft pick? Because that move would pretty much make it a certain high draft pick next year. You know the consequences.
We'll do it.
And then there was some other stuff that I saw. Of course, everybody's putting Messi in a jersey. I'm not sure. Did we see an LAFC one pop up? I saw RSL.
Hey, I heard a club got like fined for that. Isn't that technically? I know it's a joke, but a club did get fined for doing that before. So
they did it because he was under contract, and when a player is under contract, you can't go and do that. So he's out of contract now. Now it's wide open. Have fun, guys. It's all good. I think Sergio Ramos was like not really rumored, but someone's like Ramos. Yeah, that's apparently he's going to.
I was like, I as a Madrid fan, I would love to see like a goon on that back line. Just Ramos is going to be Ramos. Like that. Have you seen his workout videos? Like that is.
I'd rather see his anger management videos, to be honest.
Ever again in my life. I promise.
Yeah, I know, dude. He never stops working. He never stops fighting. That he's definitely a pit bull.
Jeez.
That's for sure. Then there was a young kid from Mexico that was rumored. I think we talked about it in the last episode, but that's gone quiet. Too bad though, because he's a good left winger. But we'll see what happens there. That's pretty much the few things I have heard. I heard about Bale being rumored to Carson, like just silly season stuff. Who knows? With Bale, I don't know. He might like golfing out here, so maybe that could be something.
Well, we've
see.
established players go to Carson to die, so Bale's not ready to die yet. So I don't know why he'd be going there. That's weird.
He looks too hungry. He's not coming here.
Yeah, no.
No way. I mean, I do think he'll be in MLS eventually, but he needs one more good injury before that happens. Yeah. Sad to say, because I do like Bale, but there's a Welsh connection to that. But just saying. So that's the silly season so far, but that's okay. There was even cooler news though, right? Fresco, there was some logo that popped up, I think yesterday. Can you give us a heads up as what's going on there?
Some weird pink logo that looked like a bird, but it had a face. I'm joking. ACFC.
A bird.
They have their
ACFC
logo unveiling. That stands for Angel City Football Club. It is the women's soccer club in Los Angeles. It will be sharing the stadium with LAFC at the Bank of California Stadium. Shout out to everybody involved with that. They worked so hard to get to this point. I mean, if you've been a supporter of LAFC and you've been in that North End, you've met Lindsay Ivins, all them. I mean, there was a sign that they hung up religiously every game, every watch party that said "Bring NWSL to LA." Even when people tried to silence them and shut it down, they did it. There was so much that happened behind the scenes, and I'm really happy for them. The crest is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's representative of Los Angeles, and that's what we get behind as fans. That's why we support LAFC and not Carson. We love what is LA because we live in LA, and we want something that's going to represent us, not just make money off of the fact that we're LA. So big ups to them. And if you are a soccer fan or a football fan or a sports fan in general, you got to understand what's happening right now. Like this is huge. This is really huge. And when I saw the Metro Rail wrapped in the
man,
dude, that was fire. Like that is amazing. That is amazing. And I don't have kids right now, but if I ever were to bring a daughter into this world, it would be amazing to bring her in right now in an era where you can show them that, you can be anything you want to be, and it doesn't matter, who you are, where you come from, this is huge. This is huge. We really, if you are a sports fan, you need to get behind this. I mean, I'm going to talk about this later, but it's bringing even fans of rival MLS teams together. I mean, some of their biggest supporters are Carson fans and LAFC fans, and they're working together on this. So that's huge because we don't like them and they don't like us, So if we get together over this, it should let you know how big this is. So, yeah,
it's critically important that this makes it. And to be honest, the rose gold vibe to me is just perfection. Yeah. Especially for my daughter. I'm like, this is a win. She's gonna want to wear this. There's no question. Yeah. She now has a team, players to look up to locally. We have our deposits already. We put them in a long time ago, so we'll be there. I can't wait to go to these games. So I'm sold. I like the little touches. You have like the angel's wings, red-tailed hawk feathers, palm trees within the wings, like all these little like Easter eggs, you could say. And then the classic crest, it has the vibe. The color scheme looks good. I can't wait to see what the kits are going to look like when this thing develops, because now the color scheme is so interesting that with the grays, it's going to get a little wild. Christine, I know it says no AC, Christine, but I'm pretty sure it's yes ACFC, Christine, right?
Yes, absolutely. Good one.
I just look and I'm like, wait, oh yeah, AC's, yeah. That
no AC, yes, ACFC.
Christina, I know we talked about this topic already, but I just want to say your takes were amazing. They were spot on. Like the part about first yellow, everything.
Mhm.
Like it's almost like you stole my brain for this episode, but it's cool. I mean,
I did. I'm inside your mind.
You
I planted a chip.
And by the way, Moon for President 2024. Let's make it happen. Set up ballot boxes in Koreatown. I'm with it. You know?
I'm pretty sure that's not legal in our constitution yet. But you know what? A lot can happen in 4 years, clearly.
Exactly. Clearly.
All I know is Christine going to be in tryouts for ACFC.
You better.
You know they're going to do open. You know they're going to do an open tryout. Are you going to take your shot?
Hey, Julie Aaron, hit me up. I'm available.
Have you seen her workout videos, Julie? She has amazing workout videos.
Yeah, just for the moment, just to be mixed in. I think that would be like.
If I can even just step on the field, I would be truly happy. You can just step on the field. That'd be fantastic. So anybody with connections, because as you know, I have no connections. Just let me know.
I'm like old guy fading connections, so I don't know. I can't wait to be there. Rasta, are you planning on going to ACFC games?
Yes, definitely. I was not sure where I want to put my deposit down, if I want to do like the supporters or like the premium ones. And I'm not going to make the mistake I did with LAFC when I only put down for one, and then now 5 years later I regret it. You know, I'm like, why didn't I do 2 or 3? But so yeah, I'll do at least 2, maybe 3. I'm not sure, but definitely want to take my kids.
Oh, good. I know you're like me. You've got little ones, and this is something that honestly I think is more their speed than. I mean, they love LAFC. They do. But I can guarantee it's going to be a slightly different vibe in the stands. Probably a little more kid friendly, I think.
Yeah.
Just getting that sense already, and so I think as an adjustment into football, even further into the actual game, it's going to be perfect for the kids. So my strategy with LAFC, which is paid off, I got 2 in the supporter section and 2 adjacent in 101. Still supporter price, but then we can bail when we need to bail. And so that's been good. I might do it again because the supporter in me just tells me I have to get into the mix. I just can't help myself.
Yeah.
Joseph, I need advice for someone who may possibly be a stepdad in the near future, because that's tough. That's different. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like I feel like you could have been in that situation, judging by the beard. So I don't know.
A witness protection beard. What? Dude, are you announcing your engagement or something? Is that
not? Did
you hear him?
Not at all. I would never. What are you talking? I am not. No.
He said step. Did he say step? Did he say?
You heard it live here on Heart of LAFC Podcast.
Bro.
He's proposing. This is amazing. Oh my God.
He's gonna throw something at me now.
People, you just put me to bed. Look, if she sees this, I'm in trouble.
Well, anyway. the future could be 1 year, it could be 5 years, 10 years.
Thank you, Rasta. Rasta gets it.
Or maybe like for the next World Cup in the United States. Maybe. It could be the timing, which this gives you a save now, because guess what?
I know you want that. That was smooth. I like it.
Transition, sir. Transition. What's going on with Larry Friedman, man? What's going on? Tell me.
Listen, guys, Larry Friedman, do you guys know who he is? He is like our #1 dude at LAFC. He is in our front office. He is the one that makes this dream happen. He is at the helm, and he has been listed to be one of the I don't know what the term is, but just one of the representatives for bringing a World Cup game to Los Angeles after Qatar in 2022 to 2026. And that's huge, guys, because he is going to be working with Klein from Carson. But I mean, look, I hear they're working on getting either the Coliseum or the SoFi Stadium, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous location. And the Coliseum, which has so much rich history. There'll be a game played there on Saturday, by the way. We'll talk about that. But it's huge for Los Angeles. Once again, just like I was saying about ACFC, it's bringing together 2 fan bases that hate each other. And we're doing it for a greater cause, you know, to put the game on the world stage and bring it to Los Angeles. That's huge. You know, Los Angeles has always felt like that bougie city. You can't make it unless you have money and you're cloud and you're this and you're that. But to see the support that has happened over the last couple of decades to the point where now people are considering Los Angeles as a host city for World Cup games, that's amazing. And all the respect for that. I think they made a great selection for at least one half of the team. But either way, I hope they can work together. I hope they can coexist, and I hope they can, get the job done. And, respect for people who can put their differences aside and look at what the purpose is and focus on that.
That well said. Again, congrats to Larry for getting this gig. You've earned it for what you've done at LAFC. They're talking about, SoFi Stadium, and they're talking about the Coliseum. Remember, this is an expanded World Cup, like a monster World Cup. You could see both stadiums getting play. Okay. There was talk that LAFC might get one because of so many of the lesser teams in the tournament probably won't sell as well. That I think is gone, right? That's gone.
Yeah.
But why couldn't it be both? They're both going to be remodeled just in time for this thing, right? Both Olympic ready. It could be both. Could you imagine a World Cup final at SoFi?
Ooh.
I mean, that's going to be the most state-of-the-art stadium at the moment, right? When this thing kicks off.
Don't tease the listeners like that, bro. Don't do that.
I added in Pasadena already, so
man.
And if it ain't, what about opening day? Like, I'm sure they're not going to go to Soldier Field like they did last time.
First of all, Soldier Field is. Shut up.
It's a toilet bowl.
I feel like actual soldiers died on Soldier Field, which is why they call it that. Because it's just, there's so many divots. I feel like that field actually ruined RG3's career when he played a playoff game there. Like, there were so many doggone divots and everything. Like, look, I love you, Chicago, but, man.
Dude, I was at opening day in 94. I don't want to go back there for opening day again. Something about 90-something degrees and like 80% humidity. No thanks. Come to LA. It's much nicer.
Los Angeles, guys.
It's gonna be the choice. I mean, we're gonna host an Olympics and have like the best Olympics ever, guaranteed.
The Olympics, guys. Super Eagles,
right? Super Eagles. Super Eagles will qualify. I know this. It's gonna happen. So yeah, Larry Friedman, congratulations, sir. You've earned it, man. You are the man. I can't wait to see how this bid plays out. I'm only expecting good things. So good stuff. In case you didn't notice, there's Pepsi bottles and cans everywhere. That's another thing that was in the community news is Pepsi cans and bottles are all over town. So go get your LAFC Pepsi. There's some All-Star Game updates. In case you didn't notice, there were some emails that went out, but apparently we have the skills competition and the All-Star Game coming up in August. Are you guys planning on going to all that stuff? Who's in for that?
I'm going to try to. Supposed to go camping. I don't know, but I'm going to really try to because, I mean, this is, again, like, I hate to sound like a broken record, but you got LAFC, Los Angeles, representing something huge, and I read Vela and Chicharito are going to be teaming up for the skills challenge. So they're going to be representing the MLS side, for like the crossbar challenge, the passing challenge, the shooting, all those different challenges. I mean, that's huge. And once again, I don't like them. They don't like us. But I mean, this is big for us, guys. Like we're in an era right now where all the things that people passed over on us are now being considered. Be it women's sports, be it Los Angeles as a soccer city, as America as a soccer nation. I mean, that's huge, and we really need to get behind it. That's huge. That's amazing. I'm gonna try to. I think it's like as low as $25, guys. Come on.
Oh, for the skills competition, yeah, it's pretty low. Like, it's more. It was cheaper last year though. They've raised the price from last year's because it was supposed to be last year, and I had tickets for that. But there goes that. They do cost more now.
Booze. I mean, absolutely.
One day at the tailgate, we spent more. Right? Yeah. Every time. So one thing I am looking forward to in the All-Star Game is usually the All-Star Game. The home kit usually matches the home team, right? So you usually get your colors like in Orlando, they were wearing purple. So I can't help but wonder, is the All-Star kit going to be black and gold? Like,
I hope they don't. And I'm going to tell you why, Joseph. I've spent so much money at HQ. over the past 4 years. On pins, on scarves, or like it's I really need to add that into my budget to my account. Like my accountant is mad at me. Like shout out to Andy Rodriguez. He's pissed. He's just like, what is this? I was like, listen, I just bought a jersey, but a week later they changed their sponsor to Flex, so I had to buy another jersey.
Yeah.
So please don't do that, because then I'm gonna have to buy it. You know that. So please don't. Yeah. But they probably will, and I'm probably gonna buy it. So this is all a moot point. Who's next?
Yeah. No, I rarely ever wear my YouTube TV jerseys. It's always the Flex now. I can't help myself. It is what it is. But I'll spend the money. They better get a like incentive credit card like they used to, where you get a cool discount, so I can spend more money. It's a good excuse. Just
my
saying.
credit is terrible. I'm not gonna qualify. So I mean,
I'm barely gonna qualify if I keep this up.
Cosign, come see your boy. So
outside of the constant kumbayas with Carson this episode, I don't know what's this all about.
I know. I'm sorry. I felt weird saying that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go vomit after this.
Man, it hurts a little inside. I gotta say, I kind of like the salt more than the sugar. So, moving on. Let's go to listen to some music here. Ross is gonna save the episode now. Watch this. So, guess what? It is the BNG Vinyl Club Minute with Rastagari. Rastagari. Sorry. How you doing, man? What you got for me? I know you got some cool surprises. I love this. So, the floor is yours, sir.
Oh well, thanks for having me again. Yeah, just here to represent. Usually LAFC Punk does his thing, and but he messaged us today and said, hey, can anyone cover for us today? So since I'm on vacation, figured, hey, sure, why might as well. I'm sometimes in the chat, as you guys always see anyway, so figured
Nice.
be on the other side of it. So
dude, it's an honor. Now, can you give us a little bit of a history behind the Vinyl Club? Like, how did this all come about?
Sure. Honestly, it was born kind of out of the pandemic. Like, I talked with one of our other, it's three of us that run it. We talked about it, kind of mentioned it a few times beforehand, and then, kind of nothing ever, like, yeah, we should do this one day. And then during the beginning part of the quarantine, I started a social distancing vinyl club. I had done a little Instagram account, and I was just throwing up a lot of different parts of my vinyl collection. And then I messaged Jose Sol Libre from the Expos, one of the, he was the former drum leader. And I said, hey, let's really start our black and gold one, and then we kind of sat on it for a while. And then right around, I think we're mid-July, I want to say July 20th was our first post, when I was like, you know what, let me make this account. Let's do it. What are we waiting for? We're just sitting on it. So yeah, we launched almost a year ago. And the other person, so it's Jose Sol Libre from Expos and the Drumline. And then Willie, one of the founders of the Empire Boys, is our other partner in crime. He's from Empire Boys and Call to Arms fame, our Mr. Hoo-Ha. So yeah, so we just always would talk about vinyl and old records and stuff like that. So we started, and then we've had a good kind of organic growth, like started with 20, 30 members the first day, and then now we're somewhere around 300-400, and we got a lot of good people tagging us, like throwing stuff in our comments and posting their vinyl, and they just tag us. So as as long as you're tag us, you're part of it. If you like, we're not like you have to do this or this or this. It's like, just hang out, just throw your vinyl on Instagram and tag us. People join our Discord. So we have a, Pat, LAFC Pat was like, hey, you guys have any Discord or anything, an official chat? And we said, you know what, maybe we will kind of go that more official route, kind of, we hadn't really thought about it before, doing a Slack or a Discord. And then we said, let's go that next step, take that next step. And, kind of just started. And then people were like, hey, do you guys have stickers? Or like, why don't we? Let's put some stickers out. So we did some stickers, we did some buttons with the same design. Then we, probably do some shirts in the near future, hopefully. And who knows what's going to come next, maybe a vinyl night or when now that things are opening back up, we'll see what happens. But, if you have a black and gold friendly bar and you want us to have host some other people that want to hear some vinyl, we're just kind of trying to unite everyone through, we all said street by street, block by block. So we added in record by record, just
I love it.
No, the love of music, I guess, guided us.
It is totally guiding, and honestly, is a good unifying factor during this pandemic. It's been really good to see just the positive vibes that it's given, and the chance for people just to keep talking and keeping a dialogue. And you guys came in clutch with it. It's really been good. I know for Punk, it's been great for him.
Yeah,
he can share his passion, which is music. Above all, I know with Punk, it's about the music. So it's been good. And when he got involved with you and the gang, we couldn't help but keep running with it, because it's just, we know it's going to last beyond the season. This thing is not going to go away. It's only going to gain strength, I think. Off-season events and all that. This is great. This is good stuff. And honestly, I think it'll mix things up as well for maybe in stadium music, we get some cool things down the line, right?
That's one of our goals. I'm like, if we could ever get, I don't know, someone was mentioning, I think at Ajax games, they have turntables set up on the concourse for pregame and halftime. And we're like, if we can just do that once, it would be like an ultimate dream, that we didn't even know we had, but yeah.
You see that little Fresco's kind of grinning down there.
I'm sorry. Y'all saw me salivating?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, but it's honestly connected me with even more of the 3252 and supporters that, you see people at the game, and you know your people at the tailgates. You can't meet everyone. It's just, there's so many of us, but different people have reached out to me, and now it's we're cool. Throughout the quarantine, you're just posting stuff. Hey, that's a cool record. Hey, where'd you get that? Hey, where do you shop? And so then when we finally got to go back to games the last month or two, it's hey, you're this person. Yes, I know you. So it's, in that way, it's different connections I might not have had.
I'll be jumping in the DMs tomorrow. Just be ready.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But definitely. So, yeah. So Dude. It's great. It's great to build that community, and I mean, we were definitely. I know after seeing that Black and Gold, the running club start, that was oh, that's cool. And then the film club. I'm part of the film club also. So that that's also great. And it was just, I guess we just thought it was time to do this, and and it.
You hit
just
it. Right. You hit it just right. You really did. Now, if we were to join it, what's the best way to get involved with the Black and Gold Vinyl Club?
I mean, our primary way is the Black and Gold Vinyl Club. Instagram is our main one that I'd say most of our content is on there. We do have our chats on the Discord. So if you go there, I'll refresh the Discord tonight, because the Discord link expires every 2 weeks or so. So I probably need to refresh it. So I do have the Discord link in the bio, and just tag us, or use our hashtag Black and Gold Vinyl Clubs on game days. On match days, we have we do match day jams for people. Tag us before the game, and what's that song that pumps you up? What's your theme of the day? Sometimes it's the city we're playing. Oh, we're playing Houston. Let's throw on some Houston songs. Or we're playing things like that, or just what vibe you're feeling. So I it's pretty diverse. Yes, we have our favorites, but we try to, we post everything, from hip hop to punk to reggae, metal, electronic, we're all across the board, so people, if you tag us and we'll repost it. So it's great to see everyone's diverse collections, so.
Dang, I'm looking forward, because it's so diverse. I'm really looking forward to hearing and seeing what you've chosen for today's episode.
Well, today,
I'm going to throw it to you. Yes. Game on, sir. Go for it. Give us what you got, man.
Well, today happens to be International Reggae Day, July 1st, starting about, I think, somewhere in the mid-90s. I think I read 1995 was the first one. I only became hip to the International Reggae Day maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I saw the first thing, and I forgot myself until today. I checked you check your Instagram, you're on this day you posted this, and I said, hey, 4 years ago I posted this record for International Reggae Day. So I figured keep with the International Reggae Day theme. And I think we did post it on our Instagram today, just Happy International Reggae Day. And that's one of the bonds that Jose, Willie, and myself had. We were all like old school reggae heads as well. I mean, you can't have the name Rastagari and not be known for having a little reggae. So here's our record. Here's my record for today. It's Jimmy Cliff, The Harder They Come soundtrack. So this one is from 1972, 73, but it's kind of the album that they say, quote unquote, popular. It showed reggae to the rest of the world outside of Jamaica and England. So, reggae started roughly 1968 was like the bubblings of reggae. Before that, you had ska and rocksteady in Jamaica. And reggae came out 68, really got popular 68, 69. In Britain, they had a lot of West Indians that, went to England to work. So they brought them their records there. So it still was more of a local thing. But 1972, when this movie came out and the soundtrack came out, it kind of brought it to the rest of the world. When they released it in the US, not that reggae became so huge, but that was that spark. Then you had Bob Marley come out a year later with his kind of full reggae debut, Catch a Fire in 73. And that kind of, those two things those were the sparks. But this has Jimmy Cliff on there, some classics, Harder They Come. You can get it if you really want. Toots and the Maytals, R.I.P. Toots. He just passed away last year or a few years ago. So has some of his classics, Sweet and Dandy, Pressure Drop, Desmond Decker, 007 Shantytown, Melodians, Rivers of Babylon's on there, Johnny Too Bad by the Slickers. So it's only about 12 songs, but they're all certified classics. They're all classics. Yeah. And if you only know a handful of reggae, you probably know some of these songs. When you say Toots and the Maytals, people go, "Oh, I heard of Toots and the Maytals." Yeah. So it's a great introduction. Great. I'll throw it on our Black and Gold Instagram tomorrow. And yeah, it's a classic. Like if you have Bob Marley Legend and Jimmy Cliff, Harder They Come soundtrack, that's a good solid base to kind of expand and take you on this journey. Nice. So yeah, and the cover is just lovely. If you get a chance to watch the film, the soundtrack kind of became more popular than the film eventually, which happens sometimes with a good soundtrack. But yeah, it's just iconic. So,
dude, the black and gold vibe, I love it. It looks like something you could actually create like a 2-stick out of.
Oh yeah, that'd be
The Harder They Come, and he's ready and waiting.
Yeah.
Bring it on Carson or somebody else. Like that actually looks Tifo level right there. It does.
Noted.
It's already black and gold. Like, could you imagine like artwork coming out from the Vinyl Club? Like, I'm just like,
we need some Tifos and 2-sticks. Willie from the Empire Boys, he had a Bob. I don't know if you saw the Bob Marley documentary that the Marcus and the LAFC kind of was behind some of that episode where they focus on Bob, his love of soccer. Willie from Empire Boys is in there with his Bob Marley 2-stick. So it was very cool. And that Tifo that we just had, that was actually the first Tifo I got to work on. So it was great to see that Bob Marley Tifo there.
And the family was involved. Like the family was there. I just goosebumps all over again. Reggae is ingrained in the North End. There's no question about that. I know the Ajax connection is there too with Three Little Birds. It's just a natural fit, right? It's a bit of rebel music too. Like it's always stood up for rights, and there's the connection's proper, right? For the culture.
Yeah, so, I mean that has that punk rock connection back in the in 77 when there started to be punk shows in England. The DJs, there was no punk records at the time. They hadn't come out on vinyl. So DJs like Don Letts and like Jamaican Parents, he was like, I have reggae records. We could spin. There could be punk bands playing, and during the time the bands aren't playing, they would spin reggae records. So that reggae and punk connection has always just been there. But then after Bob Marley saw that, and he did his punky reggae party song after that. Clash did their songs that name drop all these
so much.
So,
punk, reggae, ska. That's like that's there. It's there. It's natural. I would just, the harder they come, kind of matches where we're at right now, right? Teams struggling and bring it, dude. Good choice. Well done, Rastagari. Now, if you have the time, we'll keep you on as we get into the preview because, dude, I wouldn't mind hearing your take on what you think's going to happen soon, right?
Yeah.
It's coming into the mix. But Fresco, any final thought for community? Anything? Again, any viewing parties we need to know about? Have you heard anything about that?
Before I jump into that, hey, shout out to Rastagari for that. That is amazing. Everything you were saying is literally the epitome of what LAFC, especially the supporters, want to be. We want to be inclusive of everyone. So we're diverse. And one thing you realize, especially for me as a DJ, is that so much music and so much art is a kind of, a salute to the people that have come before us. And there's so many tracks and so many songs are on the airwaves now that are sampled from songs like that, from tracks like that. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I was like, I'm jumping in the DMs, to hear a song. It's like, man, so-and-so sampled that, even if it's a tiny snippet. So it'll definitely widen your horizon. Great job on that. Great job.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be right in there. So, but to your point, Joseph, there are some watch parties going on. One of the things with LAFC, especially our supporters, is we don't stop singing, we don't stop chanting, even if it's an away game. So, depending on where you are, where you're located, there are various watch parties going on. And I'm part of Black Army. We'll kind of just be, diverse and jumping into, whoever's closest to us or wherever we want to go. But I know for a fact the crew's going to be having something at Der Wolf, and I wanted to shout them out because they have been a partner with us and have been willing to work with us and open up their venue. It's an amazing venue in Pasadena. They have a great patio. They also have an awesome main room area as well as a basement that I got to DJ at last weekend. So it's really awesome. If you're in the Pasadena area, they're down there. I know Lucky's are also in Pasadena, so I think their home bar is Barney's, if I'm not mistaken. There's also there's also Empire Boys that are doing something. So reach out to your local SG, or if you're affiliated with anyone, see what they're doing. We're all family at the end of the day. This isn't gang culture. We're all part of different SPs, but we're all family at the end of the day. So wherever you want to go, whoever you want to turn up with, as long as you're Dale Black and Gold, you're family. So remember that. And I just want to shout everybody out. ACFC. Everybody who's continuously going hard for us in the North End and making sure that we have an all-inclusive, great experience. I love it here. I'm at home, and, it wouldn't be right if I didn't bring out my Nigerian accent this week. So unfortunately, I will not be at any of the watch parties because I will be supporting my home country, the village of my father. I don't know. It's not a village, but we will be here supporting the Super Eagles in Los Angeles. So you must go hard for us who cannot be there, be present. So we will be eating the Nigerian food all weekend. So that's why I'm on cloud 9. We love it.
Cannot blame you, Fresco. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see Nigeria playing in your hometown. This is perfection. I can't help it. I'm beyond happy. I do the exact same thing as you. Well done. And yeah, the kits look great, man. And did you show them the customized kit on the back? Show them the back. Show them the back.
Who would I be if I did not get at least one? Eh? We have to get the DJ Fresco is on the back here. I picked number 17 because every time I was on a soccer team, everyone said I looked like Josie Altidore. He wore number 17, so he might be my twin. I know now that I told you that, you can't unsee it now. So Josie Altidore, we might be related. So I just want you to know that. Respect, shout out to Toronto. But yeah.
I don't even think he's giving shout outs to Toronto anymore.
He's not, but it's weird. You got to support family. It's a weird situation. So
yeah, free Josie. I can say that. He needs to find a new club.
Come to LAFC. Come on now.
Dude,
I want everybody to come to LAFC. I'm like, I might have to pull a Suge Knight. Like, if you don't want your coach saying racist stuff, blah, 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 come to LAFC. Come to Death Row. That's where I'm at right now at this point. Just get us some wins.
Bring back Dio. Yeah, 100%. Bring back Theo. Yeah, all the way. He's now reacting. The club's reacting. Come on, there's synergy there, guys. Make it happen. Hat trick heroes need to be rewarded. Bring him back. Bring him back. Dude, Fresco, have a great time at the game. I'm still on the fence whether I can get into that one. I want to go.
It's like $45, bro. I'll get you tickets.
Yeah. It's, I can stream the game. I'm going to be watching 2 games at the same time, but hey, whatever works, man. It's just how it is. If I don't make it there, I guarantee I'll probably be with Empire Boys for this one. They are out rowdies out in Rancho, I believe. And 6:30 is when they're going to kick things off, so you guys know. Also, Pride Republic is with Crew at Their Wolf, and there's a charity involved there, so definitely check that out. Critically important. Cool. So I think at this point, Fresco, are you all set to go for tonight, man? Am I going to let you escape? He's escaping.
I must go. The Wakanda needs me. Eh?
Dude, Nigeria needs you. You're going to be the life of the party. I know this. That's why I'm jealous. I won't be sitting next to you. Maybe I'll find a way to sneak in. We'll see. Have a great time this weekend. Live it up, man. I know you will. Love you, brother. Thank you for everything.
Hold it down for me. Hold it down at those watch parties. Make sure they can hear you in Salt Lake. For real.
There it is. Mr. Director, and he knows what I'm talking about. Have a good night, sir. We'll talk soon, man.
We will.
He's going to kill me for that. You'll find out later. So we are going to transition on to the football side of the business. So we're going to get back into our previews. As you know, we always do community in the middle. So let's let this rip. Obviously, it doesn't end with Kansas City, and we don't have to have that bad taste in our mouth for too long because we get to move forward this weekend. July 4th weekend, football saves the day. So we are actually heading to RSL this weekend. Beautiful away day. Now, RSL is very much an up and down team. They're only like 2 points ahead of us right now. So basically, they're in this realm where they're trying to get their ship moving, but they keep wasting points. They recently lost to Seattle. Then they tied a game they should have won against Houston. Sound familiar, everybody? So we're kind of dealing with a team right now that is doing the exact same thing we're doing. Missing out on points, possibly missing out on a playoff spot. They're angry. We're angry. And now we're going to their house. Christine, got any intel on these guys as we move forward here? You're like, not enough, right?
You took the words out of my mouth there. They're doing exactly what we're doing. Their last game against Houston, they tied 1, but their expected goals was like 3-1, basically. They were just dominating, hammering away, couldn't finish, and Aruti ended up equalizing the same way he equalized against us. So far this season, their record is 3-4-2. And head-to-head, the last 5 games, we've won 4 and lost 1. In total, we played them 8 times. We've won 6 times and lost 2. So their formation, they typically play a 4-2-3-1. And there are some people to look out for, but in general, I would say they look a lot less dangerous than our previous competitors, SKC, and I think they've got a lot of weak spots defensively.
They do. It's almost like playing against cones at times. They get frozen a lot back there, and if we move in transition, we have a good chance against this team. And if we play that system that we played in the first half of the last match, this should pay dividends. I know it's on the road. But if we play with the aggressive wingbacks, they're not going to like that very much. I do know that they do have one massive player that we've never seen before that's in their lineup. He's come back from Germany from that terrible HSV side. Evil Hamburg. That's where he's coming from. I actually got to see this guy lose against Dortmund when I was on my trip. So, now he's back. I can make fun of him again. So Bobby Wood debuted last week for RSL. Yes, Bobby's back home. He actually came home. He entered in the 66th minute. Nothing to show for it. He didn't get any service. It seems like when he came in, they brought in another player that was completely useless on the day, and they lost their momentum after the substitution. Not blaming Wood. I think it was the other substitutions involved at the time, but their chemistry pretty much dropped off, and Wood didn't get service. He really didn't, and they weren't playing him correctly. So it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in for this next match. Now, there are players to watch out for. Definite players to watch out for. I think, of course, the best one is probably Albert Rusnak. Not for inaction play, but dead balls. He takes their corners. He does their free kicks. He knows how to find people. He'll peg them right in the forehead if he needs to. Very accurate on the free kicks. So this is trouble for us. That's for sure, especially the way we mark. So we got to keep our eyes peeled for that one. The other one that you got to watch out for, Krylock. Krylock has been basically producing consistently this season, probably more consistent than he's done in a few seasons. He just finds ways. He usually takes their penalties when they get penalty kicks, but he knows he's back. You know, he's in form. Justin Glad's been looking good so far. So that's another guy to watch out for. And then the other new face that we're not so familiar with is Michael Chang. Impact player, always dangerous, always on the move. He's going to keep us honest. The one guy that I'm going to talk smack about, though, and it's not even for his on-field. Yes, it is his on-field performances. But one guy that, honestly, I'm going to say it right now, he's a tool. Yeah, I don't insult players, but this guy I'm going to because he's disrespected the culture. That would be David Ochoa, their young goalkeeper, who somehow thinks he's a star veteran, which he's not. He's a young kid that hasn't earned the right to act the way he acts, but he's always acting up. You're like, what? You're going hard on this guy. Yes, I am. When you kick a ball into a supporter section after a tight game, you don't earn any love from me or anyone else. He's a tool. He nearly caused a brawl in Minnesota by pegging the fans with the ball after winning the game. For nearly 30 minutes of that game, he was time wasting. Again, no class. He is who he is. Was funny, though, to see him against Seattle losing on a Panenka. Rui Diaz punished him. And the reason he punished him is because he got into Rui Diaz's face on a dive. At least he accused him of a dive. Guy's very offensive. You'll see when he plays against us. You're going to be annoyed by him. But basically, he got his by Rui Diaz. So it's the one time I can really root for Rui Diaz scoring. He embarrassed the kid, which was a beautiful thing. But this guy, I don't know. In his head, there's something there. But young goalkeeper, but he thinks he's a star already on a team that's middling, right? Let's be real. That being said, you're like, everybody's looking at me like, dude, you went hard on that guy. Yeah, I did. He has no respect for the culture, so I don't have any respect for him. Now, RSL's system in potential 11. This is what you should probably expect. They're going to play the 4-2-3-1 like Christine said. Ochoa will be in net. That's for certain. Their center backs probably going to be Holt and Glad. Don't you think, Christine? That's probably what they're stuck with right now. Yeah. Outside backs are Herrera and Toya. Boy, Toya just seems to kind of float from club to club, doesn't he? Really interesting. So that's their back line. And Christine, would you say it's a strength or a weakness?
I think it's a weakness for sure. Like you said, sometimes the Cones, they have so many defensive breakdowns, and they're very, very top heavy in terms of attacking players, and at the same time can't finish. So they're not a entertaining team to me. Watching their game against Houston, just in terms of sheer entertainment value, I think our game, even though we lost, there was so much going on in there. The momentum was shifting. There was weather changes. There was yellow cards. There was red cards. So I expect us to bring the flavor, the style to this match.
Now they do offer two defensive midfielders in their 4-2-3-1 setup. That would be Ruiz and Bessler. I don't see a change to that lineup. It's probably going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
It's decent, but not as good as it should be in terms of controlling it. They are completely dependent on their offensive side of their lineup. And so what you're going to expect is Krylock to be in there as a playmaker, dropping low in the middle, peppering passes out to wings. That's their typical way of functioning. But they also have Rusnak and Ramirez on the flanks, and they're always going to be dangerous. They're good. I mean, you've seen them. There's no doubt that's dangerous. And then up front's kind of an interesting situation. Was it Rubio Rubin came into the league flying, absolutely flying, killing it. But he's cooled off. He's not producing the way he was before, which brings that interesting situation with Bobby Wood coming into this. He's barely with them. I don't know how many minutes he's going to get for us against us. He got 66 minutes, something like that. Or no, he got about 30 minutes of play, I'd say, the last match. So you got to wonder, is Ruben going to hold on to the position or just play partial game, and what replaces him? We don't know where it's going to be, but I will say that you have to respect Ruben because Rubin, I should say, because he can be explosive and very dangerous. He reads the game very, very well. And if we're not honest, he will burn us bad. Rasta, your impressions of Real Salt Lake so far, what do you think what we're going to expect on your end?
I mean, their goal differential is not too much different than ours. So it seems like they're not scoring too much, but luckily they're not giving up too much for them. So I feel like if we can just be creative in that midfield, because if they're putting 2 defensive midfielders on us, if we can have those flashes of creativity that we did at that first 60 minutes or so against Sporting, I feel like we have a really good chance right there. But that's a big if we can regain that first half creativity that we had. We look good that first half, like you guys were mentioning before.
Yeah, and I think we match up. If we play the 5-3-2, look at the midfield setup. You have Krylock versus Atuesta. Good battle, right?
Yeah.
But then you have Bessler and Ruiz having to cover for Sifu and Blessing, potentially.
They'll be tired. They'll be running circles around them.
I think it's a mismatch in our favor, right? It just seems like that to me.
And if our fullbacks keep doing what they were doing in that first half and don't get taken out early, I think that, I mean, you guys were talking about it earlier, and I feel like that'll give them a lot of problems combined with the midfield.
Yeah, don't overcoach, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I and I look at the way we overlap with Farfan and Moon, and now I look at their outsides, which is basically Rusnak and Ramirez. Those guys aren't really known for tracking. It's not their specialty. The overlap could be a lot of trouble for them. It really could be. So this is going to be an interesting thing. If we play the new system versus what they do every week, I can't help but feel like this is the anti-4-2-3-1 lineup. Really is. We'll see what happens, but it's definitely there. Which then, Christine, who do we have available to actually fill this lineup? Can we even pull off what we want to pull off?
Yeah, I believe I didn't hear of any new injuries, so I believe everyone's going to be available, and they're going to just do time management for Vela again. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't start him again, because it seems like they would rather not start him and then give him minutes after versus pull him off early. And yeah, I'm not sure who's going to start in goal. I wouldn't be surprised if Pablo gets to start again. I'm not sure what the Romero situation was, but it seems like they just kind of wanted to see what would happen. Maybe he's on a roll, give him another game. And yeah, there's not any injuries that I know of. Am I missing anybody who's out?
Yeah, I think the only injury that was listed was Opoku, which has been injured all season, and our young kid with the ankle injury as well. The only guy that Blackman's got the red, and that's probably the only one. And Palacios is still gone for Copa, right?
Copa,
yeah. So we're not going to see him. So, and a couple of guys are going to leave right after this match. So it's kind of an interesting vibe to see, and some of them are going to leave for a while. So the big question I'm going to ask you guys, midfield, are we going to see K and Blessing and Sifu, K and Sifu? What do you think we're going to see out there? Rasta, what do you think?
I'm hoping for a Sifu Blessing pairing. I think that's our creativity, and they've both earned it recently.
There it is.
I mean, you guys said it all earlier with the whole substitutions and the overthinking of the substitutions the last time, and I kind of want to see Sifu and Blessing get the full run out, and we haven't played. It's going to be a week off. I know we had a lot of games in that short period of time, but it's been a week. It'll be a week. Like, why? Who's going to say that Blessing can't do 90 minutes after a week? I mean, he's one of those guys that has a motor. It's like
the one guy we know.
Yeah, it's like minute 80, and they're running like it's minute 2.
Him and Moon, right? They just
Moon
the batteries
like
never run out.
Yeah, Moon seemed like he could have gone another 30 also. So I'm hoping for that Sifu Blessing pairing with Atuesta. Of course, I mean, I don't mention Atuesta because to me that's like your first name on the list. Like that's an obvious one,
right?
So,
we're not going to see K replacing Atuesta in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Could never imagine that one. Wow. Yeah.
Don't
see it there. Do you think Duke could get play time in this one? In that midfield?
I didn't even think about Duke.
Yeah, I don't think as a starter. I'm not even thinking starter. Maybe I should.
I'm curious what happened to Jennings' name on the team sheet last. We didn't even see his name on the team sheet, did we? The last one, and he seemed like he was doing great with Vegas, and seemed like he had a lot of. I liked him in our last game, so I don't know why he didn't even make the team sheet, and he wasn't on the injury report or anything. So unless we didn't see something in practice, I know we don't see everything in practice, but I wouldn't mind seeing him up there again in the front, especially if Vela's not starting.
So that brings us to the striker situation. You're gonna hold two out there if this is the system that we've chosen, which obviously I think it is. Who gets the start? Because this is interesting. Corey Baird, this is his old team, right? This is his chance to take it to the old team. But then there's Moose, then there's Jennings, then there's Vela and Rossi. We actually have a lot of guys that could potentially get minutes in this. We know you're typical, right? Oh, well, we want to see Rossi Vela, right? That's our star players, both leading scorers, right? You want this to be the case because that's the best lineup possible. But from SKC's perspective, seeing how it played itself out, I think Rossi's a given, right? Are we questioning Rossi starting? That's like the one guarantee, right? I would think.
Yeah. Actually, since Blackman's out, that changes a lot. I can't see anybody else who's going to be able to fulfill that role as center back. So unless we are like employing a Jordan Harvey to be like an outside back and then pinching somebody else in for the 5-3-2, but it might be that we just go back to the 4-3-3 for this one and put Kim on the outside, in which case we'll have three up top, and for sure Rossi will be there. Not sure who's going to be like our 9, but I would like to see Baird back. I think.
Yeah.
To me, it was weird that we alternated between Baird and then Jennings and then Moose in the last 3 games. Even though I was happy to see Jennings get a start, I'm not like surprised that I don't think he's going to be, on the substitution list in every game, maybe some games, because he just needs more game time, probably with the lights as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of changes things. I mean, we've also seen Blessing play that winger role. So if Vela doesn't start, that's a possibility, in which case Mac's definitely going to be in the middle with Sifu and Atuesta. But I have not successfully called the starting lineup all season, so what do I know?
So I'm going to take the weird approach and think that either Farfan or Harvey is going to slide to the middle because they have experience with Harvey in the middle. I know Farfan can actually play in the middle. He has done it before. So my thought is either one of those two are going to be in the middle and the other takes the left back spot. And then the right back's Moon's all the way. Because I cannot see justification for not starting Moon. But I also don't think that Bob's 100% like happy having him in the 4-3-3. It's a weird thing. That just you'll get that vibe, right? So I'm thinking that's who gets to go in the middle, right? It's gonna be Harvey or Farfan, and the other one takes the left spot, and they just keep running with it. That would be my vibe. In a perfect world, actually, I honestly do think if I'm gonna predict and go crazy, it's gonna be Baird and Rossi up top, with Vela as the super sub later.
Okay. Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong.
5-3-2, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be Baird and Rossi, though I would really, really like to see Vela Rossi. I think he's still looking at the altitude because this is altitude now, and thinking of the long term, because we do have a midweek match next week. So, right? We going midweek next week? Yeah, I think we are.
I'm gonna have to check.
I'm pretty sure we got one.
Yes, we are playing Austin on Wednesday.
Oh yes, I wanted to go
in Austin. So, and who just got a big win tonight. So that's going to keep us honest in our roster as well.
Yeah.
Right. things need to move around a bit. So we shall see. It's a hard prediction, but I really want to see Corey Baird get a chance to burn his old team because I really think he will in this opportunity. Feels right. I don't say predictions, but do you think a good bounce back performance is within us for this one?
Absolutely. I don't care if it's a high scoring game. It doesn't matter if it's 4-3 or 1-0. Like we really need to win this game because unlike SKC, I can confidently, without any hesitation, say we are player for player better than them. So we need to win this. Yeah.
Pretty much anyone we field is better. It's got to be better than ours. No, it throws me to see us struggling the way we do. Let me see. So for LAFC's schedule down the line, I kid you not, it's going to get harder. So Salt Lake on the road, Austin in Austin, then Salt Lake comes back to us, and then we got to play Portland in Portland. Yeah. This is tight. The schedule is tight, and then we have a good homestand. So, three out of the 4 games are on the road. So something has to give. You got to get a result on the road somewhere, and this better be the game because we are running out of time. If we keep blowing games, we will not be in the playoffs. We won't. We got to be real with it because you're chasing a team that's above you, and when you play a team above you, you need to catch them. And we would pass them in the standings. So, I expect everything from our boys this weekend. If there's anything less than that, then things have to happen in the transfer window. As far as I'm concerned, you got to make some serious moves if this isn't the crew that's going to get the job done. Rasta, what is your take for this match?
Like you guys said, I feel pretty good about this one. I mean, not going to lie, I wasn't expecting too much from SKC, and that's why when that game slipped away from us, it hurt even more because I was like, oh, this doesn't look good. And then, we're up. We look good. We look great. And then slipped away for us. Then that's why I hurt. So I wasn't expecting too much. But this one, I'm expecting a result and a positive result and 3 points. But I'm a little hesitant still. But I'm hoping for a good result. I'm not too much into score predictions. But I feel like we're going to get a 1 goal. They'll probably score on us. We're probably going to have some laps. But I'm hoping we can at least get 2 in there. So.
Right. We're not expecting
we need that result. Right? Yeah. I don't, not with what we've seen this year so far. Or there's going to be some kind of lapse, some kind of something. But I feel like we need to turn that. Yeah, like you said, we're getting every game. We're like we need to turn the corner, and now we're getting into that mid part of the season where it's like we needed this win on the road, like you said.
Exactly. We're waiting for that statement win, and we haven't had a statement win yet.
And we almost had it. Like, hey, things are turning, and then
SKC would have been the statement game.
Yeah.
Now we got to look for one in RSL. Austin had their statement game tonight.
They had it today.
Portland.
They had it tonight. Yeah.
They had theirs. So now we got to face them next. After this one, you need a statement game. No question about it.
Yes. I mean.
Excellent.
They sounded good. I mean, I watched a little bit of my cousins are in Austin. They're from Austin. They moved to Austin a few years ago, like 10 years ago. So they were at the game today in the supporter section, and they were very hyped. And I was like, all right, well, we'll be there I wanted to be there in person, but I'm not going to be able to. But yeah, it'd be great to get a win there.
The second away day there, I think, is going to be our better target.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to shoot for that one too, because even though it's a midweek, it's going to be totally worth it.
Yeah.
That's the mission. Cool stuff. Yeah. I like it. So what we always do before we close the show, we always go back to the supporters and see what was said in the lead up. I got to say this week has been absolutely amazing because Rasta has been in there just like hitting the vinyl info. It's been awesome with Danny Boy, Hooligan Ox. Who else was talking about music? We had Roberto going into there as well.
I mean, I
shout out to you guys.
Yeah, these are people that support us anyway throughout our Instagram. So it's like, I'm like, hey, cool.
Yeah, I mean, even Jerry jumped on. But yeah, you guys were doing it for keeps. Like, it was really good seeing the conversation as we were going. It's kind of like, I want to read that, but I have to talk. Man. Yeah, but it was good, guys. Well done on that stuff. I got to know more about this Rockers movie soundtrack from Danny Boy.
Yeah, that one's cool. I'd say kind of harder to come was the earlier part of reggae, and rockers was when you got to that more roots style. So rockers had like Jacob Miller in there, Burning Spear, but it's a great soundtrack also and a great movie. So that one's more like probably 77, 78. So yeah, Heart of the Come was a little bit earlier. Yeah, Heart of the Come was like the earlier reggae sound. And then you got that roots rock, but rockers is a great soundtrack also. It's in the holy trinity of reggae movies, definitely.
Trojan Reggae by Hooligan Ox. Well,
yeah.
There always has to be a Trojan involved, right? There we go. Cool. Let's see. We'll keep moving over, and here we go. So Danny Boy's first comment about the LAFC match coming up. He says, "Let's go LAFC. We need a W." Agreed, sir. Agreed. I love the avatar, by the way. Roberto Espinoza, he hits bangers outside the box. Hooligan's got his final words. Final words, come on, LAFC. We know you guys can pull yourself out of this funk. Push yourselves harder. Don't give up. We haven't given up on you and never will. If we keep pushing to lift you up, he says you should do it for us as well. Truly represent the city, those colors, and that crest. Let's go. Supporter mindset all the way on that one from Hooligan Ox, right? We put in the effort, expect it both ways. No doubt about that. He says, I see a goal from Vela, Blessing, and Rossi. I'd love to see one from Baird, sticking one to his former club. That's where I'm at. I'm always about that. And then the question is he going to celebrate or not? That's the next thing, right? Because I'm in that realm too, is do you celebrate in your old home? Let's see the moment happen.
Yes. Hopefully we get to see the moment happen.
Right. Let's have that question answered this weekend. Agreed. Roberto Espinoza says it's a must-win game. I agree. We can't lose any more points. It's getting to the point where you're chasing. Hooligan Ox says we need to beat them at their home. We've done it before. Remember that Blessing special where we went nuts that first time we went up there and tore it up. We've had good moments up there. Roberto Espinoza, I feel like every game at this point is a statement game. They need to win. It's becoming much more urgent. It is, because earlier on it was like, okay, early season. Dude, All-Star break is around the corner. No more messing around. You can't afford it anymore. Now it can cost you a lot. You don't want to be a low seed. You don't want to be in that situation. Now we also have, Seattle had an off season. Yeah, they had an off season and won it, but they were 500 and they weren't throwing games away. They just weren't quite clicking yet. This is a different story. Got to get our heads in it. That's for sure. And cool. So that is our comments of the day. Of course, tradition always dictates that before we depart for the day, we always give a final thought. It's tradition. It has to be. The cool thing is we have a new voice on the episode today. So I'm going to start with you, Rastagari, if you're up for it. Your final thought of the day before we move on.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the friends and supporters in the comments. And definitely check out the Black and Gold Vinyl Club, our Instagram. It's on my little tag right there. So other than that, thank you for having me. And Elliot, we need some really great performances and to string it together for the full 90 minutes this time. And that would be a dream come true. And I don't know if that's a great final thought, but I just want to see a good performance and get back to our winning ways that we know we can have. And
back to business.
Yes,
love it.
definitely.
You're on the right track. Agreed. Totally agreed. I'm going to pass this one off to Christine, and then I'll give my final thought as well. Christine, you have the floor.
I feel inspired to buy a record player now. Been wanting one for a long time, so I think I'm going to try to invest one and get those recommendations from you guys. So thanks again for coming on. I think in terms of our next matches ahead, I think, mentality is just such a huge part of the sport. And sometimes, players, they need to relax. Sometimes they need to have more joy. In our case, I really think that we need to be really focused for a full 90 minutes. Everybody needs to be sharp. Everybody needs to have their eye on the prize. There can't be any lackadaisical nature. There can't be any insecurity. And I think if every player does that for a full 90, we're going to see the results that we want. And it just, takes a whole team for us to do that. So looking forward to this game, and hopefully this time next week we'll be happy. We talk about our wins. We'll be drinking beer.
I love it. And getting ready for Austin off of a win, right? That's perfect. Thank you, Christine. I love it. The mindset is right. So, man, I guess it's my turn for a final thought. First and foremost, got to thank everyone that's come on. Christine, you are our designated player. There's no question about that. Thank you for the hot takes, the amazing takes, and always the perfect perspective in the tough moments. Thank you. Rastagari, thank you, sir, for everything that you do with the Black and Gold Vinyl Club. It's been an inspiration for many of us just to get a chance to reminisce, read up on some old music, invest, and see some TIFO ideas. I'm inspired by that album cover. I'm not going to lie. It was super cool. But, dude, keep doing what you're doing. We love it. I need to start contributing. I've got a bunch of old vinyls out here. I should probably get involved with it as well. Definitely. I'm just being lazy. But and I need a new turntable, right? I got an upgrade. So, yes, sir. I love what you do. Keep it up. We love the albums. If you ever want to come on and have another shocker album that you're going to surprise us with, you're always welcome on. No doubt about that. Anything for Black and Gold Vinyl Club, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stuff.
Thank you. We
and then everybody come on. Dude, 100%. 100%. And yeah, I get pins and all that. Let us know. I won't mind plugging for you guys as well. And
yes.
Of course, we'll see you in the North End very soon too. So
yes.
Thank you, Gary, for everything that you do. On to Fresco, of course. Fresco, enjoy the match this weekend for Nigeria. I know when it's me and Germany, it's very much a therapeutic moment with good thoughts of my father and my family. Anytime the Germans play, even win or lose, right? It's there. I know Fresco's the same way with his dad and his memories with Nigeria. It's that special part of football where, father, son, family, it's just there. And your history's there. So enjoy it, man. Every little bit of that, I know how important that is. So good stuff. Again, thank you for always stepping up, showing how great and unified this community can be, and even showing a little bit of humanity between rivals and highlighting that on our show to show that it's not always the war, right? That football wins out in the end of the day. And so thank you for that. Just to remind us that the beautiful side of football should always win at the end of it all. So there it is. On my note, I'm going to say this. LAFC, your backs, as far as I'm concerned, are now really against the wall. You have to get a result this weekend. We expect a result this weekend. If you wear those colors, you know it. You know what we expect from you. And I know you expect it of yourself. No question about that. I know the fabric of this club and why you came here. So on that note, I'm going to say this. If anybody needs to stay golden, it's LAFC itself this weekend. You are the ones that need to stay golden, show the colors, take it to RSL, and get us the win that we need. Tough sell? No. Get it done. For the rest of us, stick with this. We will write it out. I have confidence in that. The players will get the job done. We have a system we know that works, and I think Bob will find the light. After all, he is the guy that introduced the changes in the first place that we've all been enjoying when they play better. So it is in him. I know this. So I have confidence in him as well. On that note, like I say, go there, enjoy the viewing parties. Those traveling, safe travels to Salt Lake. At the end of the day, stay golden.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the Black and Gold is taking over.